Happy New Year! It's now 2022 and hopefully this year is a damn sight better than 2021 and 2020 were. Let's just forget about those. It's this time of year a lot of us look to set new goals. Maybe you've set new goals come the new year in the past, but then motivation's dipped and you've struggled to maintain them throughout the rest of the year. This is really common, and it's all down to how we set our goals and how we view things like motivation as well. So today we're going to go through my 5 top tips to effectively set goals that you can actually reach, and then also how you can use motivation to your advantage and understand it a little bit better. This is going to be a game changer. Okay, so 3 of the tips are to do with goal setting, having a good solid foundational goal to work towards, or at least setting your goals in the right way will stand you in really good stead. We're then going to cover 2 points which are to do with motivation. Motivation's important, but it's more important to understand how motivation actually works. So less points for motivation, more points for actually goal setting. Focus on the process, not the outcome. It's really important when it comes to the new year to set a direction which you want to move in. It's fine setting some kind of end goal, whether that be a marathon you want to run, or I'm into cycling, whether that be an FTP or a power you want to be able to achieve for a certain amount of time. Whatever it is, if you want to get bigger, stronger, whatever it is, it's nice having an end goal, some numbers to work for or an event to work for. However, that shouldn't be the only thing you're working towards. That's like at the start of a car journey, knowing where you want to go. That's completely fine, but you need to know what points, what turnings you need to do or to use to actually get there in the first place. So have this end goal in mind, but focus on the process goal. What are you going to be doing each day, each week, and each month that's going to help you get towards that end goal? That way, you're going to fall in love with the process, you're going to fall in love and enjoy the kind of process of getting there. What quite often happens is we reach our end goal, potentially, a lot of the times we don't actually reach it, but sometimes we reach that end goal, we complete the event or achieve whatever number we're looking to achieve, and then we're like, right, then what? It's kind of empty, we don't feel fulfilled, and that's because we haven't found enjoyment in the process, which we can kind of carry on utilising after we've reached that end goal. So set an end goal, but really focus on what you need to do on each day, each week, and each month, which is what we're going to go into now. Focus on habits. And if you've never heard anything or read anything about habits, there's a really good book called Atomic Habits. I can't remember the guy who wrote it, but I'll put it down in the description. And in Atomic Habits, the author comes up with 4 ways in which to kind of build your habits to make them more achievable and you're more likely to be able to maintain them long term. These are all what we talked about in the last point, process goals. First point is to make habits easy. There's loads of different ways in which you can do this, but basically making them achievable, making them not too large, not saying next week I'm going to do 7 sessions on the indoor bike, or I'm going to go out for 7 bike rides, or I'm going to go to the gym 7 times a week. That's not achievable if you're currently doing nothing now. So think about what's going to be easy for you to achieve and that you can maintain. Start off doing that and then gradually build up into something a little bit bigger. Second thing with habits is to make them obvious. So basically make sure that you remember to do them, whether that's by placing your shoes by the door or putting a reminder on your phone, anything that's going to make it obvious and remind you to complete that habit. Next is to make the habit attractive. Try and make it more enjoyable. If you absolutely hate exercising now, try find some form of exercise that you get some form of enjoyment on, or for example, if you're not doing anything now, combining a podcast with a walk or a run or hopping on the indoor bike, whatever it is you're doing, try to make that exercise or the activity you want to do more enjoyable by maybe combining it with other things that are enjoyable. And finally, in the book he says make it satisfying, so make sure that you have enjoyed the process afterwards, potentially reward yourself, hopefully not by rewarding yourself with a massive cake after every session of exercise, but whatever it is, do some exercise before you have your morning coffee, for example, so you can kind of look forward to something afterwards. There's loads of different ways, but point number 2 is to flesh out those process goals by building habits and make those habits easy, enjoyable, attractive, and satisfying. Point number 3, and the final point for goal setting, is start small. We sort of covered this in process goals, in that picking things that you can actually achieve are going to mean that you're more likely to achieve your end goal. But making sure you really start small is a surefire way in which to achieve your goal. We'll cover this in motivation in a minute, but having something that's really easy, really small, just means that no matter your level of motivation, you're going to be able to achieve it, whatever you're looking to achieve. If you're a cyclist, for example, if you're doing 1 ride a week now, just increase that to 2 rides a week. It's something that's really small, it's really easy for you to do. Maybe it's just to add an extra 10 minutes onto each of your sessions. Maybe it's that easy and that small. If you're already doing 3 sessions a week, maybe just adding 10 minutes onto those, that gives you an extra half an hour each and every week without much effort. It's something really small which you can add into your routine. This works the same for any other exercise modality, whether you're a runner, whether you go to the gym, whatever it may be. There are small things that you can do, just adding on 1 session rather than going all out and adding in 7, or just adding on 5 or 10 minutes at the end of each session to do something, just means that these things are going to be really easy for you to achieve. You're focusing on the process, the things you do each week that will really help you build towards that end goal. So start small. Before we move on to the 2 final points, please let me know down in the comments below. Have you set a New Year's goal? What is that goal? And if you haven't set a New Year's goal, why don't you set them? Do let me know down in the comments below. New Year's goals are something not everyone sets, but if you are someone who sets those, do let me know what you're looking to achieve. First point for motivation, 4th point overall, is realise that motivation is not constant. Whatever you've heard people say in the past, that their motivation's high all year round, this is definitely not the case. One of the first reasons why people struggle to maintain a new exercise routine is because as soon as motivation dips, which it inevitably does a week, a month, whatever time period it is for you after you start your New Year's resolution or whatever you're doing, they stop. And therefore, as we went through in the goals section, they've picked something that's really tough to achieve, that they can only achieve when motivation's really high. For example, going to the gym 7 times a week. Whereas if they'd have picked something that was going to the gym once or twice a week, even when motivation's fairly low, they can find that little bit of motivation inside them to at least go and do something. Now, I know I said motivation goes up and down, but motivation is actually constant. However, what you're motivated to do does change. So it does go up and down. So you're always motivated at a current level. However, sometimes you're more motivated to do exercise and go and head towards that end goal, and your sort of motivation to stay the same is down here, to sit on the sofa and watch Netflix. But then some evenings, you're not motivated to go and achieve that end goal, or to get on the bike or whatever it might be, go to the gym and achieve that end goal you're looking to achieve by the end of the year. And the motivation to watch Netflix and sit on the sofa and do nothing and remain where you've been for the past year or however long it's been is a lot higher. So actually the average level of motivation stays the same. It's just what you're motivated to do. So motivation does stay the same. Levels of motivation change as to what you're motivated towards. So take this in mind when you are setting your goals at the start of the year. Again, as I keep saying, pick an end goal, but focus on the process. Make sure the process, those small little habits that you're going to be doing each week, are achievable no matter your level of motivation. And the final point, again to do with motivation, is that something that resonated with me quite a lot when I first heard it. And it's, you don't have to be motivated to do something. This is a bit of a weird phrase if you think about it, but actually it gives you a lot of power. You don't have to rely on the feeling of motivation to do something. Okay, so maybe one of the process goals or the things you've chosen to do each week is to hop on the bike for an hour, for example, whether that's to burn calories, to lose weight, whether that's to increase your FTP by the end of the year, whether that's to be able to cycle further, whatever that is. But one night, for example, maybe you're just not motivated to hop on the bike for an hour. You don't have to be motivated to do something. So whether you don't hop on the bike, do something. So maybe you hop on the bike for 10 minutes. Maybe you go out for a walk. There's plenty of things that you can do that will help you move slowly towards your goal. Just because you don't want to do what you originally set out to do, that 1 hour session, doesn't mean you can't do something. How often have you felt tired and lethargic and then just done a little bit of something and then actually woken up and enjoyed it by the end of it? We can't always trust our feelings. Yes, sometimes we do need to take an eye and keep a close eye on our feelings if we're feeling sick, or if we're really drained or run down. Obviously we do need to take our feelings into account. However, when it comes to motivation, we can't always rely on our feelings. So just doing something, you'll actually find once you start doing something, you'll benefit from it, and you'll actually be more likely to complete what you were going to do anyway just by doing something. So this video is coming out now, obviously, because we're coming into the new year. I know a lot of people don't like setting New Year's goals, and I'm probably one of those people as well. I always think if you want to achieve something, you can set that goal at any time of the year. But it's like they say, planting a tree. The best time to plant a tree was probably 10 years ago, because it will be a tree by now. However, the second best time to plant a tree is right now. So start right now, no matter what it is. The most important thing is probably what we went through at the start of the video when it comes to goal setting. It's just to make sure that you set that direction, that end goal, where do you want to go, but then just focus on the process. What can you achieve every week, as opposed to, oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. That's fine, we're all time pressured, we've all got lots going on, but what can you do? What is achievable? And the second most important point really, I think, is when it comes to motivation. It's that motivation comes and goes, it goes up and down. Realizing that now is really important, and making sure those goals and those things you set, the training program you make for yourself, is really achievable, and you don't need a high level of motivation to go about doing it. Hopefully you found this video useful. I've had a lot of fun making it. Goals and motivation is something I'm really passionate about and interested in. But please do let me know, as I said down in the comments below, are you setting any New Year's goals? What are they? Are you someone who sets New Year's goals? Please do let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well for new videos every week. But hope you have a good New Year's, and I will see you guys next week in the next video.